Shalom. Shalom, shalom. I would first like to begin the lesson off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops, a great millstone, who taught me this truth, the 100% truth, through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors, Salaki. Peace and salutations to the brothers out there pushing this truth, the 100% truth out there on the highways and the byways, the Akim, as well as you few sisters out there listening and learning the Akwat. To you also, I say Shalom. It is your brother, Atazakabar, back with another lesson through the Spirit. And just wanted to come at y'all with a quick and Lord willing edifying lesson real quick, man, about a vision that I had last night. And if you all are aware, I don't typically have visions, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the dreams are things that I think about in the night. It really be like, it just be like bullshit, which is why I don't really think too much about it. It's only been I could count on one hand how many times I've had visions concerning the truth or things of the world, right? But last night I had a vision about the motb. And pretty much I'm just gonna go into that, talk about that, what the vision was, you know what I'm saying, and then, pull out some scriptures and precepts through the Spirit, and Lord willing, the lesson be edifying or else after listening and watching. So, yeah, man. So pretty much, I was on a family trip or something like that, I want to say, and I remember my mom was there. I want to say a few of my cousins, none of the brothers or anything like that, on my pops, and we were kind of traveling. We were driving on the road, and I remember seeing a whole bunch of construction being built. And back home in St. Louis, they kind of going through gentrification because of what happened with the tornado and stuff like that in May last year. So I kind of was thinking about that, and I was saying to myself, I said it to him. I said, you see they're gentrifying this neighborhood, right? Because it was a really rundown neighborhood. They were kind of clearing it out to build new stuff. Now, I don't know, wherever I was at, it wasn't in St. Louis because the area, it didn't look like anything like back home. So wherever I was, it wasn't back home, but I was in an area like that. But we were on the way to wherever our destination was. We were driving somewhere. And so wherever we got to whatever villa or place we were staying for the time period. I remember kind of trying to get myself together and stuff like that to get ready to go to an event. I know it was some type of event to where I had to wear a suit, a sports coat or something like that, and some slacks, and I ended up going there. And then I remember coming back, and it was so whenever I would go to the bathroom or wherever we stayed, if I turned the faucet on and touched the water, I could teleport. And so when I touched the water, I would teleport, and I would be in another family's villa. And I remember I touched it and I teleported to this family villa, and they looked like a mixture of Jake, but Edomites, very fair-skinned Jakes, almost like Ephraimites, are like Puerto Ricans. So, and the reason why I say that is because they were speaking Spanish. I was speaking to him fluently. I was speaking fluent Spanish to him. It was a father, a son, a daughter, and the daughter was around my age, like young 20s. And I'm gonna be honest, she was fine as hell too. And then a mother, fair skin, right? And then a mother. So, like every time I would touch the water in my room or in the bathroom in the faucet, I would teleport to their bathroom, which is weird to me. I know it sounds crazy, but I would touch the water on the faucet and teleport to their bathroom. And when I got there, I could go back and forth. When I got there, I teleported there, you know what I'm saying? And I went. And for some reason, like they weren't freaked out. They weren't afraid, nothing like that. I don't know why. It just seemed like normal. Like they had already, like it was just normal to them. Like it wasn't like, why is this nigga in our bathroom, or why is this nigga in our villa, or why is she in our room, you feel me? It was just like normal, like I was already there, and I just came out the bathroom. So I you know what I'm saying, the other people that was in their room, so I seen the daughter, she went back into her room. She had came out for a bit, went back into her room. The son, he was in the back doing his thing, and then the mother, she also was out somewhere else doing her thing, whatever part of the crib she was in. Almost like when I say villa, like almost like if you were in like a Airbnb type of thing, because I know we were out of town somewhere. I just don't know where. But nonetheless, you know, like I said, I was really talking to the father like the whole time I was there, you know, and I was talking to him fluently in Spanish. Like I said, I know a bit of Spanish, but not to the point where I can speak it fluently, right? I may know like a few sentences, right? I remember asking him where they were from and stuff like that, because I could tell that he was speaking Spanish, and he told me that they were from Spain, right? So like I was saying, I couldn't really tell if they were Edomites, you know. Typically, of course, the people over there who are from Spain or Portugal are Edomites. They just speak a different language. But like I was saying, like they didn't look completely Edomite. They kind of like they were a mixed race or something, like not really mixed, but like they could have been a Jake family. Especially with how their daughter was built. I'm sorry, not gonna go into details, but she was thick. Nonetheless, though, that's besides the point. I remember asking them, you know what I'm saying, where they were from and stuff like that, or asking the dad where they were from and stuff like that, and just really just having a normal conversation with them. And I remember the TV being on, we just having a conversation, stuff like that in their living room or whatnot. And I just remember he's just like, did it chip? And I said, huh? Like as soon as he said chip, I was like, huh? Like pretty much, I don't know what they would translate to in Spanish, or whatever the conversation was we were having, because I can't remember like full details, of course. I remember asking them like where they were from and stuff like that and all that good stuff. But I remember he asked me like, do you have the chip? Right? He's like, do you have the chip? That was the question he asked me, but he asked it in Spanish. And I was like, I looked like dumbfounded, like confused, like, did this nigga really just ask me this shit? And I was like, no. And he's like, I have the chip. And he's like, you should get it. And I was like, huh? Like, I was still like looking confused. So then he said, you should get it. Like we all have it pretty much. Like he had it himself. He's like, my family has it. And I'm like looking like, okay. So my thought process is, let me get the fuck up out of here. I was like, let me get the fuck up out of here for some weird shit go down. Right? So he said that shit. I'm like, all right, let me go ahead. and get up out of here, man. So I call myself going back to the bathroom, right? And I turn the faucet on so I can go ahead and teleport back to my villa, wherever I was staying at. So I turn the faucet on and I put my finger up under the water, but nothing happened, right? I tried it again. I kept on trying it and nothing was happening. I'm like, damn. I'm like, this shit not working. I got to figure out a way to get up out of here, man, because I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be in this situation. Whatever's going on, he might try to do some weird shit is what I'm like, is going on my thought process. So I'm like, man, you know, I need to get the fuck up out of here, right? Like, and I can hear his footsteps, like, kind of coming towards the door in the bathroom. Because I locked the door and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to pretend like I'm using the bathroom, but he low-key probably could sense that something was going on. Now, mind you, they don't know that, like, the teleporting thing, like I told y'all, but I can hear him coming towards the bathroom. So I'm like, let me try and get up out this window, right? So I try my best. I'm trying to get up out this window, get the fuck on, right? And I can hear him coming towards the door and approaching and stuff like that, kind of like start to knock on it as I'm trying to like pretty much get up out the window and get going. And then I woke up. And that was the end of it, right? So, seemed crazy, man. And the fact that I had a dream about the motb, I mean, it's saying something, because like I said, I don't normally have visions and stuff like that about things going on in the world, or like things going on with the truth and things of that nature. But you know, I felt like I should share that information with y'all. And yeah, man, just wanted to pull out some scriptures concerning it. It says Joel 2:27. It says, "And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord Yahweh, your God, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed." And my point, it says, "And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Your sons and daughters, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. And I will shoot wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke." Right? So these things that are going on in the world is constantly on our mind because it's current right now, right? As you all know, there are nations and places around the world, right, that already are implementing this type of technology in this system on a mainstream, right? Switzerland, Germany, Belgium. These places are already in those stages. So of course, we're gonna have sometimes, you know, so you're gonna have brothers who are having visions or dreams like that because it's current to the times that we're in. I'm gonna read it in the NLT, verse 27. It says, "Then you will know that I am among my people Israel, that I am the Lord your God, and there is no other. Never again will my people be disgraced." It says, "Then after doing all those things, I will pour out my spirit upon all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams, and your young men will see visions. In those days, I will pour out my spirit even on servants, men and women alike. And I will cause wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood and fire and columns of smoke." Right? That's why the scriptures tell us to measure the times diligently, right? And that there will be signs from the heavens. You have to pay attention to the things that are going on around the world and going on throughout the earth, because we can use that as a guide in order to measure how much time we have left in this society and in this kingdom. So with me having that vision, man, that just makes me feel like this thing is very near, man. Like it's very close, especially for me, right? Because it's surprising. Like I said, I don't have many visions when it comes to this truth. I could count on one hand how many visions I've had, and I've done lessons on them. I think this is probably like the fourth one I've had. And the first one I had was years ago, like probably in 2020, 2021, around that time. And the last one I had wasn't even this year, I don't think. It was probably like sometime around last year. And I can't remember what it was about off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure it was about, it was about spiritual powers. It was about that time I got shot. And I just regenerated like my skin, and I was fine. It was either early this year or like towards the end of last year. I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah. Shit, it was sometime sometime this school year. So between August and now. I can't remember exactly when though. Like I was saying, man, I don't tend to have visions that often. So the fact that I had this vision is a blessing, man. And Lord willing, like when it comes to time in real life, when something like this goes down or even something similar, I have that same type of spirit where I want to flee away from people who had that shit, man, because I don't want to be around that, right? Let me put that on. Let me go ahead and get this. I don't want to be around people who are into that type of stuff, man, because at the end of the day, you could cause yourself to be subject to cleaving onto that wickedness that they're engulfed in, right? It says the book of Proverbs 4:14, it says, enter not into the path of the wicked and go not in the way of evil men. It says, avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it and pass away, right? So in that situation, like I said, Lord willing, I have that same spirit of me wanting to get the fuck away from them or get up out of that situation, because at the end of the day, I want to receive salvation and be on the right-hand side with Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And Lord willing, you brothers have the same type of mindset to where you want to get the fuck up out of there, right? And you don't want to stick around and find out this motherfucker might try and do something to me, right? Verse 14 in the NLT says, don't do as the wicked do and don't follow the path of evildoers. It says, don't even think about it. Don't go that way. Turn away and keep moving, right? Because why would you even put yourself in a situation to where your spirit is subject to going off, right? We already know that the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, right? Temptation is a motherfucker, and it don't take much, man. So you don't want to put yourself in that type of situation, right? Lord willing, you won't have to be in that type of situation, but it is possible though. Now going back, I want to go back to Joel. I'm gonna have to go in a bit, but I'm gonna continue on. Damn. Joel 2:28. It just makes me feel like this thing is very, very close, man. Me having this vision, like it's right there. Especially with the things going on, man, right now. With Iran and America, right? Really with Mexico and America. It's a lot here. America is multiplying its enemies. So there's no telling, very soon, man, some shit could go down.